if you're just starting out, over 40, looking to learn how to play guitar and don't know what to do or what to learn, hey, this video is just for you. I'm going to help you out with a few tips on what you need to get started, and once you've got them, what you need to work on. All right, let's get into it. So you've made the decision to get going with the guitar. It's either something that you've been doing or thinking about, sorry, for a long time, or maybe it's something you've done when you were younger and then life just got in the way. Hey, and if you've never seen me before, my name's Alan, and I help adults over 40 play songs for fun with their guitar, right? Because it's a great way to just forget about the day, relax, let off a bit of steam, and just, and as we get older, help the old noggin out with memory capacity and stuff like that. It's just a lot of fun. That's what it is. All right, so without further ado, all right, let's go. All right, so what do we need to get going? Well, obviously, number one is your guitar. All right, and I would recommend strongly go to your local music shop, or if there's a guitar repair person in your area, otherwise known as a luthier, get them to set up the guitar so the action, the height of the strings off the fretboard. That's going to make your job so much easier and a lot easier to play, and you're going to have more fun with that. All right, so you get your guitar work, then you're going to need a tuner, a simple clip-on tuner that just goes onto the headstock is perfect. You can get free apps, of course, and do it like that because you got to play in tune. All right, and you're going to need a capo, especially to get started. All right, there's a lot of stigma around a capo. Oh, only lazy guitarists use capos. Well, I've seen many professional guitar players use capos, so I have to think some of those lazy guitar player comments come from people who aren't professionals, but I'll just leave it at that. All right, nothing wrong with using a capo. It's an ideal way, and especially if you're like, because put it this way, as an adult over 40, I know you're not trying to be a professional musician. You've got no desire to be out there on stages around the world playing songs for people, but you might like to play just around a campfire, at parties, or whatever it may be. And then there's going to be some female in there who sings in a higher key than the songs that you're used to playing, and the capo just comes in handy so you can just move it along. But that's for another video. All right, so you've got your guitar set up, you've got your tuner, you've got your capo. Pick, of course, the ones I recommend is the Jim Dunlop 0.60, nice and flexible. I haven't got one on me right now, but that's just my suggestion. All right, so what do we learn? Do we learn theory? Do we learn scales? Do we learn exercises? No. I know there's a lot of guitar teachers out there that hate me for this, but you're not looking to be a professional musician. You're just learning how to play this. You don't need to know the ins and outs of music theory or how all the scales and everything connect with all the notes and all the chords, anything like that. You just need to play songs. All right, just get in, start playing songs. So you don't have to learn a bunch of chords. All right. And study them for like over a year just to try and get the changes going and then work on your strumming to get into playing songs. No, you can do that from day one. All right, and how you do it, there's 4 simple shapes you can use. All right, so we've got a G shape. I've talked about this in other videos, so you can go and check them out. You've got the G shape, the C shape, E minor shape, and the D shape. All right, and as you see, for a beginner's hands, 1 finger movements. All right, because fingers 3 and 4 stay planted there on the strings. All right, and why is this ideal? For people over 40, you've been doing everything but playing guitar for the last several decades. Okay, so your hands are used to doing other things, like things that they're designed to do, hold and grip things, and you know, all those sorts of things. Now, when we come to the guitar, it's a whole foreign thing that this hand's got to learn. All right, so we got to get that moving in a way that we can change chords fluently, sounds nice and clean, etc. However, that takes time. All right, and if you're not playing songs while you're working on these chord changes and shapes, hey, it gets boring really quickly and you tend to give up. All right, so G shape, C shape, E minor shape, and D shape. All right, and with those chords, you can play many songs. All right, even if you only learned those 4 same chords, G, C, E minor, D, in the traditional open chord shapes, G, C, E minor, D. If you just learned them like that, you still got access to many songs. There's a lot of songs that we can use there, but with your trusty capo, you can just put that along and play those shapes as long as you're 3 frets away from the capo here. All right, you can play it with what I call the easy chain shapes or the open chord shapes. Okay, it doesn't matter, and there's dozens and dozens of songs that you can do with that. And what I mean by that? Well, I've created a list, 2 seconds. I created a list of over 90 odd 4-chord songs. Now, you won't be able to see the names here, but it goes on a fair way. Right? These are all 4-chord songs that are very popular. You know, a lot of people know, so they're happy to sing along with you. Now, this list of about 90 songs does not include the hundreds, if not thousands, of country songs out there that have got 3 chords. Right? Does include the hundreds, if not thousands, of different blues songs out there that's got 3 chords. So 4 chords or less songs, you've got a lifetime just to work in them alone. And what do I mean by what sort of songs? Well, it'll come down to what you like to play. So there's the Beatles, there's Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, Neil Young. Who else have we got here? David Bowie, classics like What's Up by 4 Non Blondes, La Bamba, if you want to do that one. Coldplay's Yellow, Ed Sheeran's song, if you're into that sort of thing. Traveling Wilburys, you know, there's so many great songs. Even AC/DC, believe it or not, can be done. But, and you're saying, what, AC/DC? On acoustic guitar, it's all electric songs. Well, there you go. All right, we can easily adapt it, and there's many more songs like that you can do. Tom Petty's One Back Down. Okay, tons of great songs that you can play with 4 chords or less, and that's what I recommend as an adult over 40, just starting out playing guitar, because you want to play songs and you're going to get the question, well, you're learning guitar there, play me something. All right, so having a good set of 4-chord songs in your back pocket that you can pull out anytime is a really good starting point to get some confidence. It's going to help with your strumming, going to help with your chord changes without getting overwhelmed by all that theory, learning to read music, anything like that, which those things can take months to actually get, so it becomes second nature. All right, but like anything on guitar, everything has to go through that time period to become second nature. All right, it's not a fast journey, but I have a way that can help you get there quicker and easier, plus having a lot more fun. All right, and it all starts off with these 4 simple chord shapes. All right, and now we got good riddance. We can do CCR. What's that? Have you ever seen the rain again? You know, Cougar. Something a little bit more modern, we've got Capo on 1. 3M by Matchbox 20. But you've got your classics as well, just without the capo. and songs like that. There's so many great songs that we can play, all right? All with those simple 4-chord shapes and the capo. All right, so that's my recommendation. Get out, start learning some great songs. And if you would like help with some great songs to play to get you started as an adult over 40, hey, check out my Ultimate 4-Chord Songbook. It's absolutely free, but it's 10 easy songs that you can play either around the campfire, backyard party, or down on the beach, wherever you may be with your guitar, even if you're just sitting home entertaining the cat. All right, it doesn't matter, but you get your ear in playing. They're all broken down in for beginners like yourself. So we start off with these simple open, easy chain shapes, sorry, not the open chord shapes, and you can play along with that. However, if you do know some open chord shapes by now, that's okay, but you still can't play songs. Hey, you just substitute those chord names for the open chord shapes and you're good to go. And you follow my CPR practice pathway, and it's all laid out in there for you. Hey, like I said, it's all free, but if you're looking for something easy to get some quick runs on the board, thoroughly recommend checking it out. All right, so that's me for this one. I hope you've got some value out of this. As I said, I help adults over 40 play guitar, songs on their guitar even, for fun. And I'm Alan Hopgood, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.